Hi guys, Ray from Whimsical Pictures here, bringing you the first monthly manga haul in forever. I don't even know how long. I just haven't been able to make them, so I'm really happy to bring you over 50 volumes today. Wow. Yeah, definitely gave in to some retail therapy a little bit last month, but I didn't go over budget or anything, so it's fine. It's fine every once in a while. Uh, but yeah, I have some titles in both English and Japanese. It's mostly Japanese as usual, but more English titles than usual as well. So I figure we'll do those first. I did also get a stack of vintage Moto Hagio manga, but because I've already talked about those in an unboxing video, I will not be talking about those today. So if you're interested in those titles, most of them from the 70s, I will put the link to that video in the description and the cards, if I can figure out how to do that. And yeah, without further ado, first, some manga adjacent materials. Adjacent in that these are the materials that allow me to read so much Japanese manga. This is exciting for me and maybe nobody else, but I will be starting, or have started in the past week or so, my studying process for the N1, which is the highest level of the Japanese language proficiency test. So yeah, I've got some books for that. First, I've got the Try grammar book. It has, each grammar point explained with like practice problems, and then it has like a summary practice test at the end of each unit with all of the grammar question types that are on the test. So this is just a continuation of the same grammar series I've been using up until this point. It's been serving me well. I switched series for kanji and for vocabulary. So this is going to be vocabulary. And this is a hefty boy, and it has all kinds of different question types. It gives you a lot of information about each word, and it comes with CDs so that you can work on your pitch accent and the like. And it also has a lot of writing practice in it. So this is definitely a higher level vocabulary textbook for people like me who are huge nerds and actually enjoy studying. But I actually really liked this format. I think I'm going to learn a lot from it. So, yeah. If you guys are interested in hearing about my N1 studying process, then let me know in the comments and I might update you guys after I've gotten through a chunk of this stuff. And the last one I got is for kanji. It's from the same people, the Arc Academy. And I really liked that this one allows for writing practice for kanji, even though there's no writing practice on, or writing questions on the test. It also makes you write the compound words as well when you're answering questions. And I just, again, lots of different types of questions that it asks you. And I really liked that. It also has a really nice dictionary in the back by Onyomi Kunyomi. And I think, does it have it by Radical? That's by Alphabetical. Okay, it doesn't have it by Radical, but that's okay. Yeah, so that is the non-manga that I wanted to show you. On to the manga. First, we have the English manga that I got for this month, so you can stop after this segment if you don't care about Japanese manga, but Yeah. So first we've got the much talked about, much anticipated Our Dreams at Dusk, which I had actually already read in Japanese. You can see that they're pretty much identical. And actually the same size, which is kind of unusual. The only difference is that, as is usually to be expected, the Japanese one does have a dust cover. And I would say that the paper quality on this release, the English release, is just a little better, but they're comparable. Yeah, so this series is by Yuki Kamatani, who is themselves non-binary. They identify as X-gender and asexual. This is a series about a gay boy named Tasku, who, at the beginning of the series, has sort of been found out by his classmates, and is in sort of a spiral of self-hatred, and ends up on the edge of a bridge. But when he is at the point where he is about to jump, he looks over and he sees someone who looks like they have also jumped off the bridge. And so he rushes over to them, and finds that he was mistaken. They were just out for a walk. They are a very strange person. They introduce themselves only as someone, and they buy an ice cream for themselves, and they say, "I'm gonna be here until I finish this ice cream. You can talk to me about anything. I won't listen." And Tosku basically empties his heart to someone, and someone invites him to a drop-in center, or it's called a lounge in Japanese, and tells him that he might find some kindred spirits there. So he, having nowhere else to go, ends up going there. And throughout the course of the series, he meets the members of Cat Clutter, who are sort of this volunteer group who renovate old, sort of abandoned houses in the area, fix them up into something new, which is a very heavy-handed metaphor, but it is a nice metaphor, so I like it. And he also finds that at least some of the members of Cat Clutter are LGBT just like him, so he meets two lesbian members who refer to themselves as married. And basically just it's about him and the rest of Cat Clutter going around renovating spaces, demolishing them so that they can build something new and better. And it is one of the best it might be the best LGBT manga that I've read. It's only 4 volumes long, and it's just incredible. It does, over the course of the series, cover pretty much every letter in the acronym. So there is a lot of representation here. I think a lot of people who haven't experienced the kinds of things that these characters have experienced have called the series very sad, or at least this volume very sad, but I don't think it is. I don't think that that's the tone of this series at all. It's very healing. It's very, again, demolishing that old self-hatred, demolishing that system that makes you hate yourself in order to build something new and beautiful and truly you. I find it very uplifting to read this series, and the beautiful, sort of whimsical art of Yuki Kamatani definitely helps. Bonus, this series takes place pretty close to me, so I can get here by ferry in about an hour and a half, so I live on the other side of the big bridge that you see in this series. So yeah, that's cool. I'm thinking about going to Onomichi when I'm in Hiroshima next month. So I will let you know if I do that. Next book. This is going to be so long. I got Blank Canvas, My So-Called Artist's Journey by Akiko Higashimura. Yeah. I really love Akiko Higashimura. I love Princess Jellyfish. I haven't gotten that far in Tokyo Tarareba Girls, but I really need to, because I love her sense of humor and her heart. She's just a lot of fun. Her series are very relatable for people who are in their 20s, early 30s. I am in my 20s. So, yeah, this is her autobiography. I think it's going to be 5 volumes long, if I remember right. And it's just about her journey to get through art school and become a mangaka, despite basically flunking her way through high school. This particular volume deals with her very harsh and unorthodox art teacher who tortures her into talent. And I really liked how she portrayed him. How she saw how he was really trying to help her, but also doesn't excuse the parts of his training regiment that maybe shouldn't have flied as much as they did. And yeah, I just really like how she portrays the town that she's from. I can't remember right now where she's from. It's a prefecture I've never been to. But I just love how she portrays, like, countryside Japan and, like, the people there and the personalities she remembers from her childhood. Just a lot of character, a lot of fun. Highly recommend it, just like anything else from Higashimura. Next, we have volume 1 of a lot of debuts this month. I think that goes for everybody. I don't know. All the hauls I've been watching have a lot of debuts. It's been a lot of great series coming out. This is volume 1 of Witch Hat Atelier by Kamome Shirahama. Kamome Shirahama is actually a really well-known illustrator, and you may know her from a rather famous cover she did for Wonder Woman. She's also done other stuff for American comics, but in this case, this is a manga. It's about this little girl named Coco, who comes from a world where only people who are born witches can be witches. But even though she was not born a witch, she wants to be one really bad. So basically she's given by a mysterious woman in a strange mask a book of spells, and she uses it out of curiosity, and she ends up turning her mother into stone. And a witch passing by named, I'm gonna guess on his pronunciation, I wish I had the katakana, Kifri? Kifri? This motherfucker. He's a wizard who's just passing by on business, and he takes her, now parentless, under his wing, with the promise that if she trains under him, she may one day be able to save her mother's life. And it's just so stunningly illustrated every step of the way. It is one of the most beautiful manga I've ever read. Absolutely incredible to look at. There are so many pages in here that just make you go, wow. And I love the concept of, like, witchcraft being powered by art, by drawing. They call their pens wands, and they use the wands, to draw essentially transmutation circles. But you have to be a good artist in order to do good magic. So that's really pretty. And I really like that concept. It's really fun. I like all the little girls. that are apprentices with her. I really like Kifri. I kind of want to smooch him. He's very pretty. He's definitely got some mysterious stuff going on, but he's very pretty. And yeah, this was a fantastic debut. I can't wait to read more. I'm glad they gave it sort of a bigger trim size. Next, we have another debut. This is Go With the Clouds, North by Northwest. This is by Aki Idie, the author who did Ron and the Grey World. I did not pick up Ron and the Grey World because there are aspects of that premise that kind of bothered me. So I picked up this one instead because I really do like this author's art. And I was really curious to read something by him. And this also runs in Harta magazine, which is one of my favorite magazines. Here in Japan, I always see this in the Harta Comics section when I'm in the bookstore. And so I decided to pick it up in English. And I don't know that much about it. I heard it's some sort of murder mystery. It kind of gives me road trip vibes. I heard it was set in Iceland. So that's basically the extent of what I know. This main guy's cute, so hopefully he's not a horrible person. But yeah, I'm excited to read this. I haven't gotten around to it yet. Next, we have some Yuri. This is Eve and Eve. This is a science fiction, mature Yuri collection. This does have a mature rating for a reason. It's not the most explicit thing in the world. You're not going to see any... I don't think, flipping through this, I even saw any, there's no nipples in here, which I feel like is a huge ripoff. But if you're gonna, advertise it as mature Yuri, it's like, come on, man. But yeah, you don't see a whole lot, but there is sex, and it is drawn. It's just not drawn very explicitly. There's a couple stories in here that have, Yuri pregnancy tropes that it's like, I don't really like stories about pregnancy. Even straight pregnancy. I just don't like, I don't know. I'm not interested in, I'm getting all sweaty because my air conditioner's off. Oh, no. But I'm interested in the concept of science fiction and Yuri. I definitely took into account the glowing review from Mama Loves Manga. She made it sound like something I might enjoy. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this one as well. I haven't read it. It's good that we're seeing more genres of Yuri manga in English. Because Yuri manga, there's so much variety if you look closely. And I'm glad we're starting to see that in English, little by little. So yeah. Next, we have Volume 3 of Ten Dance. I can't say much about this because I've only read Volume 1 of this series. I'm 2 volumes behind now. But I really enjoyed the first volume. There's not a whole lot in terms of BL content yet in the first volume, so this is going to be very much a slow burn, I think. It's got I think it's got 4 volumes out in Japan now. But the dancing definitely feels like the focus, and the sort of training and the relationship between the two, romantic or not. These two have a ton of chemistry. So much chemistry. And I love reading about them together. Watching them flirt. Watching them teach each other to dance. It's a lot of fun to read. It's funny. The art is nice as well. There's a nice page. Yeah, if you're interested in dancing, I would say if you have no interest in dance, you might not be as interested in this one. But you also wouldn't be interested if you were looking for this only for dance, because it sometimes feels like it's sort of skipping through some of the more competitions to get to more like character moments. So it's like you have to be there for both the dance and the two characters getting to know each other. But if you're here for both of those things, then I think you'll enjoy this a lot. Last English manga. Okay. This one's exciting. It just suddenly came back into print. I got an email about it. I thought this would never be in print again because it's June. So of course it was out of print in half a second when it first came out. This is actually one of my favorite BL one-shots. I am sweating so much. But this is Mr. Minimart, or Konbini-kun in Japanese. This is by Junko, who you may know from the shoujo series Kiss Him Not Me. This is about this boy here who is a NEET after some serious bullying from the fact that he's gay getting out around his school, sort of causing him to drop out. And through family connections, he's able to land a job at a convenience store, and he decides that he needs to really pick up his life, so he takes the job. And it's about his sort of budding romance with his coworker at the convenience store. And I think this book includes also like one or two short stories afterwards, because the main story is only 5 chapters long. But this is just really, really sweet. It's so cute. I love just the faces that Junko draws. They're so cute. I don't know if I can find like a really cute one. Like, I don't know. The way she draws is just really cute. That's a cute one. So I'm really excited to finally have this. It was like something I thought I'd never have. So, yeah. Alright, next on to the Japanese manga, and we're going to start with continuations. So continuing with the BL trend, we have the third and final volume of Red Barrel ni Sayonara. This is vampire smut. I really liked it. It's, yeah, this is one of my favorite BL series now. This is from the creator of The High School Life of a Fudanshi, which has been released in English. This series is not that. It is from volume 2. It is very hardcore. Very hardcore. It's very hardcore, but it's very vanilla. So there's other series from this creator that are like kinky as hell. So if you're into that, look into those. But if you're not, this is very vanilla. It's also very consensual. I think there's a kiss in the first volume that's a little questionable, but it's like the guy gets called out on it. It's quickly stopped. You know, I thought that was dealt with better than it usually is in BL. So, and after that, everything is super consensual. These two are really cute. This guy is the vampire. He is he's from the Meiji era, so I guess he's 150-ish years old. And he is openly bisexual. He used to have a wife. And I am happy about that as a bisexual person. But this boy is like 20, and he basically almost dies, but this guy rescues him, and in doing so, he finds out that he's a vampire, and he wants to repay him, so he starts just coming by his house to, like, take care of him and, like, clean and everything, and he's like, no, don't, but he's very tsundere about it. This series has a lot of things that I really like in it, and it's really beautifully drawn, as you can tell just from the cover. I don't know. There's a lot I can't show you, but Yeah. Oh, it's not gonna show up. Yeah, it's really well drawn, really nice. Oh, no. And cute. So, if you like vampires and you can read Japanese, this is great. Or request it from whatever publisher is putting out the high school life of a Fudanshi. If you request this, I'll be happy because I want this one. And as far as I know, that series is doing well, so. Next, we have a BL adjacent series that is nonetheless not at all BL. This is Metamorphose no Engawa, Volume 3. This is. I don't remember. This is like a Kadokawa Tankobon original. I don't know that it was even run in a magazine. But this one, or it ranked as one of the Kono Manga go Sugoi nominees. And it is about the sort of friendship between this 75, I think, year old woman and this high school girl over their mutual love of BL manga. And I thought from hearing that premise that it was going to be like super gimmicky, but it's not at all. It is so sweet and so wholesome, and it's just this really beautiful friendship across this huge age gap and how like shared interests can bring people together, and what BL manga can mean to different people in different stages of their life, you know. And I just love this series so much, and I haven't read this volume yet, but I can't wait. Next we have, I'm finally caught up on this series. This is volumes 5 and 6 of Saotome Senshu Hitakakuzu. This is a romantic comedy about two members of a high school boxing club. The boxing club's ace, which is Saotome here, and Satoru, who is kind of a skinny little loser. This guy here. But he loves boxing, so because no matter how hard he tries, he can't seem to gain any muscle, he puts all of that love into research, and so he has become sort of an ideal coach for Saotome, who mostly goes off of instinct. So they have a secret relationship because there's some BS about, like, if it gets out, like, I don't know, something will happen. That doesn't matter. What matters is this here. She is, yes. This was a cover buy for me, and I have been just enjoying Saotome and her abs ever since. This is a surprisingly charming series. It's another one I thought would be mediocre, but ended up being actually quite good, so hopefully that continues into these volumes. But yeah, I enjoy this series. Next, we have, because I found them at Book Off for $1 a piece, and I'd been meaning to get them, more Harta books. This is volume 2, volume 3, volume 4, volume 5, and volume 6 of Aoi Horus no Hitomi. This is a series about, it's a historical fiction series about Hatshepsut, who, if you don't know, is the most famous female pharaoh. She wasn't the only female pharaoh. There were a lot of female pharaohs, but she is definitely the most famous, and the most successful, I think. She is a figure who I'm extremely interested in general, and you can pretty much convince me to read anything just by putting her in it. I love stories that are about ancient Egypt, that are set in ancient Egypt, and especially stories that have to do with this particular historical figure. So, the first volume was extremely, extremely, extremely good. That one was just following her, basically as a teenager, getting wed to be Pharaoh Seti, who at this point is an extremely one-dimensional, like, kind of asshole, but, you know, inevitably he's gonna die sooner rather than later. I mean, spoilers for history. But, yeah, so I am so excited to read more of this. But it'll be slowly, because the Japanese in this series is quite high level. It's a lot of, like, really weird, antiquated, like, honorific language that I just don't know. It's a lot of, like, stuff about, you know, building ancient architecture and, like, talking about ancient mythology and, like, ancient royal lineages and stuff that is, like, vocabulary that, you know, to be honest, just does not come up in my day-to-day life. So it does take a lot of work and effort to get through these volumes, but I know I will eventually, and I know I will love the experience, so I'm glad that I have caught up on the series now. Now we have Volume 2 of Mizutama Honey Boy, or Polka Dot Honey Boy, because he likes polka dots. The first volume was like a 3 stars for me. This feels like a series that I'm probably going to read and then get rid of, rather than one that I'm going to keep long term, but the premise I enjoyed so much. It's got sort of a gender-bending premise where the girl is like a tomboy captain of the kendo team, and the boy is this very feminine, what you would call like an one character type. If you know the model slash entertainer Ryucheru, or Ryuchel, the husband of Peko, that's who he reminds me of the most. And I happen to be a big fan of Ryuchel. And I love femmes, and I love femboys. So I heard the premise of the series, and I was like, all right, sign me up. And yeah, I think he's really cute. Here he is in a dress. Oh, the lines are so thin, you can't see it. Bummer. But, yeah, the way he talks is very exaggeratedly feminine. But I don't know. I just like how positive it is about, like, his quirks and her quirks. And it's got some things that I don't like as well, but we'll see if those get any better or just get worse. This is a Hanato Yume series, so that's also why I picked it up. When I'm looking for just some random shoujo manga to read, I tend to go towards Hanato Yume because I have a pretty good track record with them. I tend to like their style. That magazine style. Speaking of Hanato Yume, I got the continuation of Colette Decides to Die, volumes 2 and 3. This is a series about this girl, Colette, who is I guess you would say, herbalist, kusushi. She reminds me very much of Shirayuki from Snow White with the red hair. But she is being severely overworked and just wishes that she could disappear to another world for a while. And so she remembers staring into the well in her backyard that there is a legend of another world existing on the other side of the well. So she jumps in and wakes up in the underworld. And it turns out that the king of the underworld, Hades himself, has recently come down with a mysterious ailment. So his little skeleton servants, who are so cute, by the way, sort of forcibly hire her to look after him. And she's very passionate about her work. She's very, like, if there is a patient, no matter where they are, I will go to them and I will heal them. So she takes on the job of healing the king of the underworld, and working as his personal herbalist. So she's able to travel between the human world and the underworld freely. So she treats him as just any other visiting patient and visits him in the afternoon after a long day of work. And it's sort of about their budding relationship. What I really like about this series is that their relationship is very equal, and it's built on a mutual respect for essentially the same values that they see in each other, which is a value for work ethic and for doing good work. And they're both sort of workaholics, so they have to sort of learn through each other to take it easy every once in a while, or else your body will break. And I find this very relatable. Those are huge values for me as well. And personally, this type of series where it's like a girl who ends up in some sort of like ambiguous relationship with a magical entity. Usually that entity is sort of in the mold of like Elias from The Ancient Magus Bride, who is very sort of quirky and even childish. Which I know is a fantasy for some women to like take care of someone, to like fix them, or they really like just quirky, funny people, but I don't at all. I like people who are serious and studious and really care about their work, and really respect me and my care for my work. So I really like Hades in this because he is exactly that. He respects her. He's very serious. He takes his work seriously. He takes her work seriously. But he also has, like, his cute little moments. Yeah, you know. He doesn't have to be fixed. He doesn't have to be mothered. He's an equal to Colette in every way, and I like that. And I love Colette. I love her spunk. So, yeah, really cute series so far. I'm about halfway through volume 2, so I'm excited to read the rest of what I have. And I will pick up more volumes as I get through them. Next, we have one that I haven't touched. This is volume 1 of Unsung Cinderella. This is about a hospital pharmacist, and that's all I know about it. Volume 2 just came out, and I'm just interested in the premise of a series about a hospital pharmacist. Yeah, I'll report back if it's good. Next we have Ningyo-oji, or Mermaid Prince. This had been going around online, pictures of the cover, and it was a cover by. This is by Kaori Ozaki, who did The God's Lie, which has been released in English, but I am more interested in her from her older series that was released by Tokyo Pop and never finished. Immortal Rain, or Meteor Methuselah in Japanese. I really love that series. I think it's great. The God's Lie was just okay for me. Like, I didn't think it was bad or anything, but it was just like, it didn't go anywhere interesting with its story. This is a collection of, I think, 3 short stories. It has her beautiful, very simplistic artwork that I really enjoy. Very expressive. I love how she draws characters' faces. There's an almost nostalgic quality to her artwork that I really enjoy. And the third story seems to have mermaids in it. And I like mermaids, so that's where we're at with this one. I'm very excited to read it. Next we have, I'm trying to go through these faster because we're at 40 minutes. This is a Yuri title called Sekai no Owari to Majo no Koi. So, The End of the World and Witch's Love. And it seems to be a boarding school setting, like sort of Class S-ish Yuri series about witches at a witch school. And I got it because the cover's pretty and that premise appealed to me. So it says volume 1, so I guess there's going to be a volume 2. I haven't read this yet, so I really can't tell you if it's going to be good. But I'm not very picky when it comes to Yuri. So, well, I kind of am. But I'm picky when it comes to stuff that's like, ew, no. I'm not picky when it comes to like generic and cute. So, speaking of not being picky, this is Umineko So Days by Naoko Kodama, who is quite a prominent Yuri mangaka right now. You would know her from NTR Netsuzo Trap, as well as I Married a Girl to Shut Up My Parents, or I Married My Best Friend to Shut Up My Parents, I think. I haven't gotten that one yet. But this one I was really excited about because it is about this sort of teacher who was fed up with her job and overworked and like at her limit, who goes back to her hometown, I think, like a small town in Japan, and she meets this girl who is like a Yankee with a child, so a teenage mother. And there is an age gap, which for me is like no, generally. But I really like the tropes involved with both of these characters, and I really like, you know, stories about gay parenting. There's not enough of them. And I really like Yankee girls, and I really like teacher characters, and this is my weakness. Flipping through it, it looks like it's not particularly, you know, lewd like NTR is. It looks like one bath scene is about as far as it goes. There's like some kissing, and that's it. It looks very innocent, and a lot of like, you know, raising this kid, getting to know each other's differences and stuff. So I'm excited to read this. And the most exciting Yuri pickup that I've got, we've got 3 more. So 3 more things to talk about, I promise. The most exciting Yuri pickup that I have is something I've been looking for so long, and I've been looking for it on Mercari, which is like Japanese eBay, and they never have it. It's out of print, so... But for some reason, when I looked this last time, like 4 people had it up, and I got it. And this is Renai Joshika by my favorite Yuri mangaka, Akiko Morishima. I love how she draws girls. This is probably her most well-known series. It's about, other than Yuri Kumarashi maybe. And it is an office lady romance. It looks to be a bit of a Yuritopia. I don't mind Yuritopia as long as they sort of settle down and focus on one main relationship. So, yeah. Like, as the core relationship, I guess. And I already know some of these characters from the short story collections that I've read. Particularly these 2 I recognize. But I am excited for all kinds of office ladies in love, drawn adorably by Akiko Morishima. I'm so excited. Okay, last 2. These are the longest ones. So we've got from Book Off again, a little over $2 a volume. This was all 8 volumes of Shonen Note, also by Yuki Kamitani. And the covers are gorgeous, so I'm going to show you them. So this series, pretty much all I know about it is that, like Yuki Kamitani's other series, it does have elements of LGBTQ representation, and that it is a series about choir. Now, I've been in several choirs. I wasn't in my high school choir, but I was in several choirs outside of school. And I love singing. And I love choral music. And I love Yuki Kamitani's art. People who have read this series a lot of them say it's even better than Shimagami Tasogare, and I don't want to go ahead and say that. That would definitely, like, take a lot for me to like something more than that, but we'll see. You know, if that ends up happening, that would be amazing. So, I am super psyched to read that series. And that I found it in a bundle at Book Off for like $18. The next one I also got from Mercari. After seeing it recommended on the Anime Feminist, it sounded like a series that was made entirely for me. I am going to say this series has a trans boy main character, and the covers I'm about to show you, some of them do portray him sort of in a sexualized manner that is traditionally feminine. You know, with like his chest not exposed, but you know, very prominent. If that is going to bother you, you know, click off now. That's kind of why I saved it for last. Obviously, it's totally fine for trans boys to flaunt what they have, no matter what it is they happen to have, if they want to. It's just that I think this series is by a cis man. I may be totally off base there. But if it is, it's kind of like, But this series was recommended by a non-binary person who I know to be very picky about representation of trans men and trans non-binary people. So I do trust their opinion with regards to this kind of thing. So, yeah. I just wanted to let you know if those types of images are going to make you upset in any way. I just wanted to warn you about that. Content warning, you know? But this is all 9 volumes of Yureito, or Ghost Tower. Now, I'm going to be showing you the covers now. This is said character. His name is Tetsuo. The main character here, I forget his name, like Taichi, I think. Okay, how do I explain this plot? I made sure I read up on it beforehand so I could try to explain it to you. It's basically like a murder mystery horror type of title, set in 1952, the Showa era. And in 1950, basically this old woman was murdered and strapped to this clock by her adopted daughter. And 2 years later, we've got this neat guy named Taichi, who's living a really boring life until he, as well, gets strapped to the clock of what has now come to be known as the Ghost Tower, which is thought to be haunted. And he is rescued by a mysterious boy named Tetsuo. And, the Phantom Tower, I guess it wants us to call it in English. But that sounds great. Spooky ghost tower, and like the 1950s, and like, you know, homoerotic, will there, won't they relationship between leads, you know, mysterious, vaguely ghosty lead character, LGBTQ themes, murder mystery. This is all like, I think this series was made specifically for me. So, I think I've seen this in the store, but the art kind of looks like pretty typical seinen fare, so I never thought to look at it in detail. But I like this cover. Like, hearing about it in more detail, I was like, that sounds like something that I need to read yesterday. So, yeah, I haven't read it yet, but I'm really, really excited. And that is everything I picked up this time. It is, I counted it, counting the Moto Hagio stuff that is in the other video, it is 56 volumes. So, that's a lot. I was definitely right up to my manga budget with that one, where usually I don't spend near what I budget for manga. So, you know, it's a problem if this happens every month, but I feel like it's fine for 1 month. And probably exciting for you guys. I don't know how exciting it is to watch me for 50 minutes, but sorry. Next video should be, I think, a manga collection. That's what I'm thinking. We'll see. Thank you for watching this incredibly long, stupidly long haul video. I'll see you next time, guys.